Okay, good afternoon and welcome to our August 13th, 2020 community-wide lunchtime update. As most of you are probably very well aware, we're 1 week away from our first day of school for the 2021 school year. And as you know, our teachers have been hard at work preparing for this year, ensuring that your child is prepared for the best school year yet, where inspiring excellence happens each day and every school day. We hope next week you will post your students' first day of school photos using the hashtag MISDProud. As you can see behind me here, that is something that we definitely want to celebrate. And so once again, just ask you that you post that with the hashtag so that our communications department can find your student's picture and collect it to put into this year's back to school photo digital library that we always put out at the beginning of the school year. So I want to remind you of that today because we will not meet again with the community update until after school has already started next Thursday. So please remember to do that when you post those next Thursday morning. Speaking of our family and friends, during the 2018-19 school year, we had a community committee that was made up of many parents and staff and community members who came together to develop the MISD performance tracker. I've talked about this several times at board meetings. These were measures that were identified by others in Midlothian ISD, as well as the community of Midlothian, that came together to talk about what is it that matters most when we look at the district's operational improvements as well as learner and teacher and staff growth. What are those measures that we as a community value beyond just our state system of accountability and testing? So we have that updated based on last year's information. We have our what we call our performance tracker. And so I'm going to show that to you. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and this is on our website, and you'll notice we have each of our district goals. You'll see here the first one is under academic excellence to design innovative learning environments while increasing academic rigor to align teaching and learning, and then we go in and update that each time, and so you can see there the measures that we value, that were identified, that we value as a community, and then what the success rate of the district has been on each one of those. It goes through each of our 6 goals that the board adopted and evaluates each year and makes revisions to. And once again, these are just some baseline, these are just some measures that you can go look at. Also on our website, you will notice a link on there as well to our to TEA's base dashboard. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty here managing. I've got to get back to my screen so that I can stop sharing. All right, I apologize for that. All that to say, there's a lot of information out there that you can use to monitor and measure what's going on within our district. There's, like I said, it's connected to the Texas Education Agency dashboard, and on that dashboard, there's over 25,000 data points about Midlothian ISD. So you can take our tracker, you can take TEA's information, and you can find all the information that you would like to know about Midlothian ISD that we have out there. So please check that out. Once again, it has been updated, and that will be released soon on our website. On Monday, this past Monday, we held a special board meeting to discuss the budget and tax rate. Mr. Norris, our Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, is going to join us, and he's going to share a little bit of information that was shared with our board this past Monday. Mr. Norris, are you on? I hope you can manage this a little bit better than I just did over the last couple minutes.
All right, I think I'm there, Dr. Ledbetter. Thank you. So hi, community. We're glad to have you on this call with us. We did, the board did adopt their 2021 budget in June. At that time, we were basing our revenues on the April 30th preliminary tax values and, of course, our template for our state funding. At that time, we thought we would be a reduction in taxes of about 7.35 cents off the tax rate. Then we got our July 25th certified estimate values. They had risen, they had grown, mostly due to additional Google values that were added. We're very glad to have Google in our community. And even though our total tax values grew less than the Google amount, that's because of the reduction of many other people's tax rates and values because of the protests that were going on at that time. So anyway, we believe that we'll no doubt be able to reduce that tax rate another about 1.34 cents, which would result in about a 6.1 decrease from the rate from last year. So we're still working on that. We won't get our final certified values till August the 31st. We usually like to set our tax rate in August, but we're going to have to wait and do that in September this time. And they may change those numbers some, but I know that there'll be a recommendation from us in September to the school board to reduce that tax rate. We'll ask the board on Monday night to increase the tier 2 tax rate by a penny. That may sound like a tax increase to you, but what we're going to do is on the INS side, take off that penny so that your total tax rate really doesn't change. So for the taxpayers, it's no difference. But what that does for the school districts, it increases our state funds by $605,000. So it's certainly worth doing. It's good stewardship. It's good business to do that. We want to do that because it will help us offset a lot of these COVID expenses that we faced already, as well as maybe being able to do some more opportunity things for our staff. So just want you to know that's what's happening when you talk about the penny. We also want to remind you that MISD is one of only 6 school districts in the 7-county area around the Metroplex that give the local homestead exemption. We take 10% of your appraised value on your home off right at the top, and then we take further off $25,000 of a state mandated homestead exemption. So that helps our taxpayers a lot. We're very blessed to have a very varied tax base here with all our industry and our commercial property and then our homeowners as well. So it's good that we're going to be able to give this reduction in your tax rate for the coming year. So watch in September, we'll get that final number to you. So thank you, Dr. Ledbetter. That's all for me this morning.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Norris. Also, just want to remind everyone that on Monday, August 17th, we will have our monthly business meeting, board meeting. Some agenda items or a couple of agenda items of interest are that we will be bringing the recommendation for our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion position. So I'd like to take this moment to thank many of the members of our Diversity Council that served many steps throughout that process, from reviewing resumes to first round of interviews, second round of interviews. So we had a lot of assistance in that, community members that participated in the selection of that. So I look forward to bringing that individual to the board on Monday. And so I've already mentioned a couple of times that we will be starting school virtually next Thursday. I think everyone knows that. And so at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Leslie Garconi, who is our Chief Technology Officer, to talk about the registration and the device distribution process and some additional information. So Mr. Garconi.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ledbetter. Good afternoon, Midlothian family. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to you and wanted to update you on a few things. So right now we're working diligently to ensure that all the technology, all the devices, and all the online instructional materials are ready to go for all students. It really is a gargantuan feat, but we're working hard to make sure that we have all that ready to go. And so to that end, we're actively working through appointments to swap out iPad devices and MacBooks, and specifically for 6th grade parents. So if you're out there and you're an incoming 6th grade parent, we need you to complete your online registration, and that's what triggers eventually for an email to come to you. We're working through those now, but you'll get an email with a link to schedule an appointment to come up curbside here at the administration building, 100 Walter Stevenson Road, and we'll be swapping those devices out. I know some of you have attempted to help us out there on social media by circulating that link, but that link is really designed for parents who have already completed online registration. So I wanted to clarify that. For that device swap, we really need that to occur. And that goes for all students, whether they're new to the district or they're returning to the district. Of course, if you're returning, you should already have a device except for 6th grade where you're swapping out. So if you're watching this presentation and you're new to Midlothian ISD, first, welcome to Midlothian ISD. But second, we want to make sure you complete the online registration process, and that is what tells us that you're going to be in the district, so you need a device. And finally, we're hearing some rumblings out there that parents are contemplating maybe waiting until school begins face-to-face after 3 weeks before you register. We really don't want you to do that because we want to make sure that you have a device in your hand ready to go on day one for the start of the school year. So once again, we encourage you to get that registration completed so we can get the technology to you as we work to ensure every student has everything that they need for being engaged in instruction. So thank you very much, and I'll turn it back over to Dr. Ledbetter.
All right, thank you, Mr. Garconi. And so just to reiterate, please, if you have not done so, please ensure that you have registered so that we can get all the information out to you. Yesterday, also, our secondary students and parents received an email from each of their students' campuses notifying them that student schedules were ready to be viewed in PowerSchool. So if you are New to MISD or do not remember your PowerSchool password, please contact your campus for assistance. This upcoming Monday, our elementary learners, so that was our secondary. So secondary, your schedules are available in PowerSchool. So that's where you will go check that out. As far as elementary learners, you will be receiving phone calls from your teacher inviting them to a virtual Meet the Teacher event, which will be held Tuesday evening, August the 18th. So all elementary students should receive a phone call from their teacher on Monday, and that event will be Tuesday evening, August the 18th. So also your campus principals will soon be sharing additional information regarding the face-to-face transition week. Now remember, we're virtual up until the day after Labor Day, which is September the 8th. So that week of September the 8th through the 11th, our face-to-face learners will be coming back in, will be transitioning back in a couple of days a week. So the way that's going to work is that our face-to-face learners with last names A through L are going to attend school face-to-face on Tuesday, September 8th, and Thursday, September 10th. So Tuesday, Thursday, if you're A through L. And then our face-to-face learners with last names M through Z will attend school on Wednesday, September 9th, and Friday, September 11th. And then all face-to-face learners will start on campus full-time on September the 14th. There will be more information coming out about this, but I know there's been some questions, so we just wanted to get that out there for you. There will be more details about what's going to happen, but that will allow us to have the kids back on campus in smaller groups so that we can work through the protocols, safety protocols, arrival, dismissal, going to lunches, transition in hallway. So it's going to provide us a great opportunity with smaller groups. So that concludes our update for today. I know there's probably been some questions as I've gone through this, and we will work to get that out to get answers on that and get those out to our website on the FAQ. So just encourage you to join us next Thursday, which, as I mentioned, will be the first day of school, and we'll share more information about how that day is going virtually, and then we'll continue to communicate with you regarding other aspects of the start of school as we prepare for our face-to-face transition week, as I just went over, and then our September the 14th start with all kids on campuses. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for joining us today.